Okay. Oh, yes, it's recording correctly. So I'm going to insert the figure. This is what we're working with. Okay. Specify insertion point. So hopefully this is a good scale. So we are starting with 20 down here. And the entire thing, as usual, I like to make a overall box for the diagram first. So it's 20 by 160. Okay, so 160, we're going to start down here. And then, where are we? 20, 100. Okay, I think this is incorrect. So let's start again. 160. Because it's big. 20, and then going up is 160, and then we're gonna complete that. So now we can compare that the scale of this figure is pretty small. So I'm gonna move this somewhere else first. Okay, I'm gonna put it here, and then we can scale this guy. Scale. So hopefully that is a bit better. Not really, but okay lah kot. I think we can just zoom in for a bit when we need to. Okay, so 20 by 160. Basically what I made was a box that is covering this entire thing. And then let's work with the structure. Let's find the center point, make the center point so that we can start with the inner structure. So if your object snap is not turned on, make sure it is turned on. Make sure midpoint is selected, and then click on line. Make sure object snap is selected, and then midpoint would look like a triangle. So finding the midpoint. So this triangle, it's also telling me that this is the midpoint. So I'm going to use this as a guide as my center line. Excuse me. So now I'm going to change the properties. Okay. And I'm going to select the line type to be center, like that. So now you can't really see it, but we will extend it and you will see that it is actually a center line. Okay. So now I'm going to teach you something new. It's about changing the color as well as the layer. So I am selecting center line and I am clicking properties. What we did just now was to change the line to become center. And we understand what it means when we do a center line. It means that this structure is actually a cylinder or like a circle structure. But it is from the side, so that is why it looks like a rectangle. So again, properties. So this thing will pop out. So I'm clicking on layers and properties. If you are here, make sure you are in layers and properties. And then I am going to maintain this by layer. And I am going to change the color. Okay, maybe we will do the layer later. Let's do this as red. You can change, you can use whatever color that you like. And then I want to try to separate layers. Now, this guy, the drawing, is layer number 1. Let's try to assume that this is layer number 1. And then we want to call this layer as line layer. Meaning to say it's not the drawing, but it's like a guide. I forgot the exact term, but I'm going to figure that out in the next lab because I forgot the name. So this is layer number 0 right now. We want to define a new layer. Okay. This is our regular line. Let me show you. Okay, layer 0, that is the default. Now, I want to change this red guy or this whatever color that you chose to a different layer. So layer 0 is the default. I don't want it to be the default anymore. I need to define it. Why does it keep on changing? Okay, so here is layers. And this is where you would edit layers. and we want to add a new layer. So here we have 0. I want to add a new one. So let's see, make current, no. Layer match, no. Previous layer, no. Isolate, no. We want to add the layer. Do I right click here? I actually have not explored for 2025. Is it here? Yeah, it's this symbol. So this symbol lets me create a new layer. So right now we are working with default layer, which is called 0. Now I want to change this to center line layer. And center line will have a color of whatever that you like. I'm going to choose red. And now I'm going to make this as center line layer. So I'm going to click on that. And then layer status. Okay, now we want to check if it actually works. Okay, I'm going to check this one first. This is layer 0. Okay, now let's check the red one. Is it layer centerline or not? So it's still not layer centerline. So let's change it over here. Center line. I actually wrote that wrong. Okay, let me rename that. Center line. Okay, so if you look here, my line, the red line is now centerline layer. Okay, so watch what happens if I try to make this layer disappear. So over here we have an eye icon. I hope you can see this eye icon. This is called visibility, and I'm going to untick the centerline. So turn the current layer off. So what it does is whenever I'm drawing and then I have finished my drawing and I want to get rid of all the center lines because I just want to see how the object looks like without all these guides, I can do that. I can also do a layer for dimension. And if I want to check how the object looks like without the dimension, without the center lines and all that, I can do so by clicking on turning off the visibility. Okay, so let's work with that. So hopefully everyone got that part. No worries if you are still confused. We will keep on doing it throughout the class today. So I'm going to turn on the center line back. Okay, click on, basically you're just going to tick this guy and it should appear back. Okay, so that's the new skill that we are learning today, making different layers. Okay, so let's continue. From the center line, we have a inner structure which is 22 in diameter because it's a circle. It's a cylinder, but from the side it looks like a rectangle. So if from the center line, it would be 11, and then we have some structure going on over here. And then from the center line as well, we have a structure 42. So if this is divided by 2, we will get 21. So 11 and 21 going upwards. So from the center line, I'm going to start here. I'm going to type in 11, and then the x-axis of the 11 structure is what? It's not 20, it's 43. Okay, over here it says 43. So because we already have a 20 structure inside here, so 20 minus 43 would be 23 divided by 2. 43 minus 20 is 23 divided by 2. Or we can start from the center and just do 43 divided by 2, which is easier. Okay. I hope I didn't confuse anyone too much. I'm not in ortho mode. I'm going to click on that. Okay. Bear with me. I think I confused some of you. Okay, so that is, I need to mute this and get rid of that. Okay, so again, we have a structure. From the midpoint, it is 43. So 43 divided by 2. So that is going to be 21.5. from the center, 21.5, and then going upwards by 11, and then this is going to be 43, and then I'm going to go down by 21.5. Now, if you can see, if you can see here, it is in red, which is not what I want. So I'm gonna click on this because it is working in the wrong layer, and I'm going to change it to the default. Click on this, change it to the default layer. Color value. So, 0. And this is also, and this is also 0. Okay. So like that. Okay, so let's just check really quickly. This should be 11. And this should be 43. Okay, so we got it correct. So now I feel like this is bugging me. I can turn it off. So turn off, center line, everything is gone. I want it. I'm just showing it to you guys that we can get rid of the dimensions as well. Okay, so this needs to be trimmed or adjusted. So we got the inside. Now we have to work with, this is 43, and then this structure is 42 divided by 2, which is 21, going upwards. Going 21, going upwards. So 21 going upwards. I need to work in the right layer. So I'm going to click on this before I start. From here, it's going to go up by 21, 43 going to the side, and just complete the diagram like that. Okay, so we are missing a structure, a small structure in here. So I'm going to offset this by 1. So this offset 1 like that. Now I'm going to trim it so that it actually looks decent. And this guy needs to go as well, and this one as well. Okay, so far pretty easy, right? And then we are doing this, we need to mirror this first so that we can make the 5 small structure inside here. So let's use mirror. My mirror symmetry should be over here. No, why is it saying it? Okay, let me try again. So 1, make sure I'm selecting the right point. I feel like this is not symmetrical. Okay, let me try this again. It should be 43 or so more. Whoopsie. What's going on with my line? Okay. And then I'm going to mirror this. The reason why I completed this box because I feel like there are some gaps, and when I do mirror, it's going to appear tilted, so it's going to be wrong. Okay, wait. Mirror. Specify first point and second point. Like that, and then I'm going to trim. Is this trimmed? Yes. This is also trimmed. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have our center line in a different layer, which means that we can easily turn it off. Then we did this structure, which is like the box, the bigger box for this drawing. Now we are going to do the 5. And this 5 is situated, the midpoint of this inner structure is 5 from the edge. So let's use line. From the edge, I'm just typing in 5. I'm making a small mark there so that I have a guideline for my midpoint structure midpoint. And then I'm going to offset this by, the structure has, is it given? This is from the midpoint. Okay, I will assume it is 2.5. It's not given. So let's work with 2.5. Offset 2.5, one side and the other side. Now it's a little bit small. I'm going to extend this. And again, make sure you are working in ortho mode so that everything is 90 degrees. And this inner structure or inner line will be extended way above because it is the center line. Now we can change this structure, this line, we can change it to a different layer. Right click, click on properties and change the layer. Sorry, it should be this center line. Okay, do I need to trim anything? Let's check back the diagram. So we actually also copied this, which is not over here. So we need to get rid of that and extend this further. So trim. Okay, and then this needs to be extended. Feel like that was not 90 degrees. Okay, and then get rid of this. Oh, no. So this is what we have so far. We are going to do this down lower part of the figure and then we are going to mirror it again. So this lower part, let me get the PowerPoint first. Okay, so this lower part is, the structure is 160 minus 152. That is going to be 8. But since this is referring to the entire structure, which means that it needs to be divided by 2. So 160 minus 152 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So from here to here, it is just 4. And then here to here, the difference is 10. No, that doesn't make sense. 160 minus 152 is 8 divided by 2 is 4. 152 minus 142. Okay, give me a minute. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are trying to find out what this dimension is. So it's from 42, 142 minus 160 minus 142. That would give me 18, which means that this structure is going to be 9. Okay, 9, and then the difference between these two guys, let me zoom in. The difference between here and here, 142 minus 138 is what? It's 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. So this is 9, and then this is 2. Okay, so let's work with that. 9 and then 2. So this is in a different layer. I'm going to change that. Properties, 0. And this guy we can get rid of this. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this later, and then we need another line that is 2 above the line we just made. So I'm going to offset this by 2. Offset, specify offset distance is 2, enter, going upwards, click on that. So that is what we have. Trim, we need to trim. Okay. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to make this pillar looking thing. And this pillar looking thing from the midpoint is 5. 5 on each side. So we can use this. We can use the center line to do that. I'm going to click on that. Offset. Distance is 5 to the right, and again offset the center line to the left by 5. And then I'm going to adjust this first, because we always want to do the shortcut way so that we don't have too much work. Okay, adjust this and adjust this like that. And then now we change the layer to default. So that is what we have. And then we will trim whatever that is not needed. Before I can do, why is that highlighted? I'm not sure. Okay, undo, trim, trim. Okay, so now I can mirror this. I want to use the blue selection to mirror, so that I'm only mirroring certain things. No. Wait, this is the wrong mirror. Let me try that again. Okay, so the midpoint should be this top. Mirror from here to here. Erase source objects? No. So this is what we have. Okay, are we missing any structure? Let me see. I don't think so. So I believe we have done this correctly. Now let's try to do the dimension in layer centerline, because why not? Or we can make a new layer called dimension. Okay, so I'm creating a new layer. So if you did not manage to get how to do layer, I'm clicking on this icon. Okay, again, I'm going to start from over here on the right side. I'm clicking on layer and properties. And then I am clicking on new layer, which is situated over here. Okay, I hope you can see my cursor. Click on that. And then if I click on that, it will prompt a new layer, and I can type in what the new layer name is. So you are going to name that layer as dimension. Okay, I don't want this. I'm going to get rid of it. Delete. Okay, so dimension is currently in red. I want it to be a different color. So I'm going to do green, maybe. So now I have a dimension layer that is in green. I have a center line layer that is in red, and my default drawing will be in 0, layer 0, or the default layer. Okay, now we want to work in the dimension layer. Click on this guy, double click. Okay, so now you can see that color is by layer. Now it is green, the layer is dimension. So now I can start doing dimension. Okay, so like that. Okay, so let's say we do all the dimensions and it's just really a lot of dimensions and you can't really see the drawing clearly. You want to get rid of dimensions for a while, but you want it to be available when you need it. So what you're going to do is go to layer and properties again, and under the eye icon, you would untick the dimension layer and you would click on turn the current layer off. So it's not there anymore, but it's still there. It's available if you need it. So you want to turn it on again, layer and properties, and then I will tick this again. Why is it not appearing? Okay, so it's still unticked. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so that is the beauty of layers. So when you are an engineer later and maybe you have to scrutinize your colleagues' work or the people under you, or a drawing that you get from the vendor, and there are too many details, you can make some layers hidden so that you can understand the drawing better. Okay, all right, so that is activity number 1 done. Please do the dimensions completely and present it in a single PDF file. All right, so let's do number 2. That was pretty easy, right? It was just a learning curve with the dimension and center line layer. Okay, so this one is easy. I'm going to let you do this yourself. 30 by 6. But you need to save it because we will use it for assembly later. Okay, and then let's do this one. So this is figure 7 part 5, roll bearing. So the entire structure has a dimension of 70 by 19. And then we have the inner structure is 46 by 19, 54 by 19. We can do many rectangular boxes, but you need to work with a midpoint. So rectangle doesn't really seem easy. So working with lines from the midpoint would give you that accuracy. Okay, and then we have a circle with a diameter of 10, and then this structure has a diameter of 54 minus 46 is 8, so this is 4. Okay, and then this guy is 1. The chamfer is also 1 by 1. From here to here is 1. Okay, so let's work with it. I'm going to save this first so that we can put it inside our AutoCAD. Save as picture, figure number 2. Then going back, I'm going to start with a new drawing, or maybe you want to work in the same drawing, that's fine. But when you want to generate the PDF, it should be in a different file, okay? Model, so I'm going to insert here, figure number 2. Okay, whoopsie. So that is our figure. Let's zoom in a bit. Okay, so let's start with the most outer structure. So that is how I roll. You can figure out what works best for you. Okay, I'm just showing you the typical way to do it. So we need to work with default layer. Make sure you are selecting that first. Double click on default layer or layer number 0, and then click on line. So first is 19 to the right, going down 54, to the left 19. Make sure you are in ortho mode, and then another one 54 going up. Okay, so that is what you have so far. And then let's make our center line. I'm going to make sure I'm working with center line layer. Double click on that. Now it is a center line layer. Okay, click on line, find the midpoint of the structure that you just drew, and then use that as a guideline, and then click, make your center line. So that is your center line. Doesn't look like a center line, but we know it's a center line because we already established the layer. Okay. I can change this center line to a different one. Okay, let me click on that. And then I want to change this center line to center line 0.5 because it doesn't really show here, right? Okay, so here I am going to click on this part. In layers and properties, I am clicking on this part over here. Wait, sorry, it's this guy. This line looking thing, click on that, and you would load or manage, load your center 0.5. I think you already know this part because you've done it. Find center 0.5. Reload the line type center to. Okay, center to, yeah, this guy. Okay, so now it appears better because this structure is smaller than the previous object that we drew. So that's why the center line is not appearing nicely. So we can change it. Okay, so that is what we are working with. Next is 46 divided by 2 is 23 from the midpoint. Going upwards, 23. I'm not in my default layer. Change that first. Okay, use the line, go up by 23. And then okay, betul-betul. Okay, I'm extending it a bit. So what we have drawn so far is, this guy is 54, I think. Okay, so 54 is actually referring to this. From here, I don't know if you can see. Let me change to PowerPoint. What we're doing is actually here, this, and now we are drawing this and this. We have not done this one. I accidentally forgot about this. Okay, so we can do that from the center going upwards, 35. From the center going upwards, 35. 19, and then just complete the box. Trim whatever you need to trim, and I'm going to get rid of the dimension as well because we're not working with this. Delete. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, now we are going to draw the circle. Now the circle is situated at the midpoint. Are we able to do that? Let's find out. Don't think so. So we need to make our midpoint like that as a guide. So we want to make sure that this is really at the center. So the line should be within these two lines like that. And then click on circle, diameter, go to the midpoint of this line. If your line is not symmetrical, then your circle will be, the midpoint will be at a different place. So if I'm going to show you. Let's say I'm just making a line like that. So if I want to find the midpoint for this line, it will be somewhere else. It will be here, which is wrong. So that is why I told you that the line should be confined within these two edges so that the midpoint is going to be correct. So circle, center, diameter, find the midpoint. The diameter would be 10, just type that in, and then you would trim the inside like that. So where is ours? But this part is missing. So 15. So another line from the midpoint, we're going upwards by 15 and then 19. Escape. This is what we have. The next part would be to do chamfer. So the chamfer will have a distance of 1. So after you have typed in chamfer, type in capital D. So it's going to ask you the distance. Specify first chamfer distance 1. Specify second chamfer distance also 1. This and this is how it should look like. Again, chamfer. Specify the first line. Now this line extends all the way down here. And if I want to do chamfer here, it's going to get rid of the line entirely. So you would have to draw it again. But that's fine, just draw it again. Okay. Okay, so another trick, if you want to redo the same command with the same distance or the same parameters, you would just right click your mouse. So if I'm going to right click my mouse now, oh tak jadi, kejap. Because I already used line, sorry. Let's try that again. So undo, let me do chamfer again. Chamfer, type in capital D, specify the first chamfer distance 1, enter. Specify second chamfer distance 1, enter. Select the first line, this guy over here, and then select the second line to do the chamfer. Okay, now you want to duplicate this command. You're not duplicating the object, you're duplicating the command, or you are redoing the same command but at a different place. You would right click your mouse. Repeat chamfer, like that. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Right click. Oh, it doesn't work anymore. Only once. So I'm gonna have to do chamfer again. Right click your mouse and repeat chamfer. Okay. Okay, so does anyone want me to repeat any steps? Is everyone okay? I think I was a little bit fast today. Sorry about that. Okay, no questions. Everyone's okay. All right. So now I'm going to type in line. Specify first point, just dragging it down. And I am going to do the same thing. Okay, now we can try the repeat line. Right click my mouse. No, it doesn't work. Right click my mouse. Okay, it doesn't work. So somehow it only works for chamfer. I'm not sure. We can explore this more later. Okay, I'm extending that. So now we can mirror this easily. Okay, mirror. Always mirror at the center line. Make sure you're selecting the points correctly. Do not erase the source object. So this is what you have. So make sure you label the dimensions using a different layer or a different color. And that is it for activity number 2. So I'm going to give everyone a 5-minute break to just catch up or ask any questions. We will continue at 9:30. Okay.
Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. So, whenever I do the center line, and then I try to export, it doesn't appear in the PDF.
Okay, let's try that. I'm going to try that myself. Okay, export to, okay. Our layout is this? Okay. So just now, it was not appearing, and what I did was I used this center, we call this mouse button at the center. I double clicked on it. That. So now it's zooming exactly where the objects are, and then I can. So I did this morning in 20 minutes. So I zoom in here. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, now I am working with that. Okay, paper space. So this is what is going to be printed out. Let's see if it works. Export to PDF. DWG to PDF. ISO Flowbleed A3. Print as displayed. Plot. I'm going to do this in desktop. Okay, so let me find out if that worked or not. Excuse me. So it is appearing for mine. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, good job. Is there a different button? Export to PDF. Okay, I'm going to screenshot this and share it on WhatsApp. So you can try to make sure that all of the settings for the export to PDF is the same as mine. Okay, let me share on WhatsApp really quickly. Where's my WhatsApp? Oops, sorry. This is confidential. Stop presenting first. Okay. Where is it? Okay, it's here. I hope your plot style is correct. Print as displayed. And make sure that your center line is visible, as in like you're not making it hidden. So we can discuss this. If it's still not working, we can figure it out when we come back to UPM later. Okay, what do I do now? Share screen. Who was the one asking me? Did it work out or not?
Doktor dia macam kalau saya export ke PDF, dia tak nampak macam dia punya dash. Just a straight line, not a dash.
Okay. Because sometimes the resolution is not, it's not picking up the correct resolution. But as long as it's a different color, I will assume that you are doing it in a different layer. So that's fine.
Okay, Doctor.
But it is appearing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Share screen. Okay. So any other questions? No question? Everyone is okay so far? Okay, so let's, I promised 9:30, so one more minute. Excuse me. Okay, it is 9:30. Let's do the last part for today's class, which is activity number 3. The assignment looks pretty easy. Easy. there's a lot of circle, tangent, tangent, radius. Circle, tangent, tangent, radius, circle, tangent, tangent, radius. Okay, so you just have to figure out which is tangent to which circle. So here is a new command that you need to figure out. It's called ellipse. Try to read the details on it. Just type AutoCAD ellipse command and then try to find out how to read a command. This is on purpose. I'm asking you to find out how to learn a new command on your own. Okay, so that after this, maybe in the future, AutoCAD is coming out with a new command. You can learn something new and you know how to do it. Okay. So they have already given you the parameters. You just have to find out how to use it. Okay. So activity number 3. Let's go back to our AutoCAD. Okay. Insert diagram. Just now I did a screenshot instead of a figure. I'm going to use that. So this is that. Okay. So let's do, okay, so here we have something that is narrow on the top, which means that it's not covering, it's not like the entire object. It's not a box, right? It's a very narrow structure. So I'm going to work with something that has more width, and I'm going to work with the 70 by 70 by what? So 7 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. So 7 plus 7 is 14, 19. 19 plus 9 is 28. 28 by 70. So that is the box that we are going to work with. 14, 19, 28 by 70. 28, 70. Okay, so now we have this top part. What we did was we did this part. 70 is covering up until here, but I drew everything. I'm enclosing everything within this box. We can do the structures later. And then the top part has a dimension of 110 minus 70, which is 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. And then from the edge, it is situated by 9 minus 9. Minus 9 going upwards 20. And then 7. From here, 9. Then going upwards 7. Let me figure that out again. From here to here is 9. Going upwards is 20. Okay. From here to here is 9. Going upwards is 20. And then going to this side is what? 7. And that is 20. So that is our narrow structure. We can mirror it or we can leave it first. Okay, we have a line up here. The line is situated at the midpoint of this structure. If this structure is 20, the midpoint should be at 10. But I don't know why they are not giving the dimension inside here, but that's okay. We're going to do the center line first. Make sure you're clicking on center line layer. And from the top, you go down by 10. You can delete this later. And then that, delete that part and extend this structure. So you have your center line. A little bit wonky. Let's make it better. So now I'm going to offset this by, if that is 10, I'm going to offset this by 5. Going upwards, and also I'm going to click on it again, going downwards. Now I need to change this to a different layer. Click on it. Click on layer and properties, and then change the layer to default. Same thing over here, change the layer to default. Okay, now we can trim it. Like that. It does look a little bit big. If it's 2.5, is that too big? Okay, I'm going to try this again. I'm going to offset this by 2 and see if it looks better and closer to the diagram that we are referring to. Offset distance would be 2. Oh, I did 5. Okay. Should it be 3? Okay, I'm just trying to play around with the distance. I did not figure this out this morning. Specify offset distance. Just now I did 5. Let's do 4. Let's do 4. 4 looks better. Okay. Now I'm going to move the line that I did just now because I am lazy. And my base point would be here, dragging it down to the line that we just made. Delete this guy. And then I'm going to offset this by 1 because we already know the distance. So I'm offsetting this by 1. Oops. Delete this. Is that symmetrical? Yeah, I think that looks much better. Okay, as long as you know that this is 4 upwards, 4 downwards. So it's 8. And this is the starting point is at the midpoint of this structure. You are fine. You don't have to follow the way that I did it. As long as the dimensions are correct and you got it eventually, it's fine. Okay, everyone works differently. Okay, so let's move on to the next structure, which is a 60 within this 70 box. So that means the difference is 10, which means that from the top here, it's going down by 5. And then it has a length of 7 plus 9. 7 plus 9. 7 plus 9 is what? 16. So going down by 5, I need to work with the default layer. Make sure you're selecting the default layer first. Okay, and then going down from the edge, from the top edge, going down by 5. And then I am extending this to the left by 16. And then going down by 60. Then going to the right by 16 again. That is what I have. Now we are missing a midpoint. We are missing a center line. So click on layer and properties. Click on your center line layer. Click on line. Find the midpoint of your humongous structure. Make sure it is at the midpoint, which is a triangle icon. Use that as a guide to make your center line. Okay, we can adjust the center line later. We always need to make sure everything is symmetrical, especially the center line. Right now, it's not. Okay, we have done the inside, the first inner structure. Let's do the second one. The second one, it has a width of 5 and the y-axis is 40, which means that it's going to go up by 20 from the midpoint. I need to work with the right layer. Click on default layer, click on line, going up by 20, going to the left by 5, going down by 20 again, and then escape. I can just mirror that later. Don't have to complete everything. And then this third inner structure has a width of, oh, I think I did this incorrectly. This guy is 34. The third structure is 40. So that was wrong. So let's do this again. From the midpoint, going upwards by 17. And then going to the left by 5. Then complete the structure. I can extend this. No, maybe not. No, I'm just going to do this again. Delete. Okay. So from here, going upwards by 20, going to the left by 5, go down by 20 again. And then the fourth structure is just a line that connects to the left side of the object. So let's just complete that. And it is aligning with the second inner structure, like that. Okay. So hopefully everyone got to this point. I'm going to let you guys catch up in 5 minutes. I'm going to write the dimensions so that everyone can see. So let me work in the right layer first. Maybe red color doesn't appear best here. Let me use cyan. Dimension. This is 30. Oh, not working in the right layer still. Okay, dim. This is, why is it 16? Okay, I did this incorrectly. It's not aligning. Okay, let's find out if the rest is correct. This is 17, this is correct. Dim. This is 5. Okay, and then this should also be 5. Like that. 17, this should be 20. Like that. Okay, so let me redo this line because it's wrong. So going upwards by 17, then extending this line. Change this line to different layer. So now let's find out the dimension again. Make sure you're working in center line. Oh, sorry, dimension layer. In this case, I'm using center line layer. Okay. This should be 70. Now it's correct. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this. So it's 5, 5. Then we have a 20 and a 17. Turn off. But I don't want the center line. Okay, turn on first. Okay, so you know what to do next. We are using mirror. Make sure you are working in default layer. Mirror. Select object. Okay. Enter. After you have selected the object using the blue selection, click enter, and then your mirror line should always be at, oh no, I'm not in the right layer. Oh yeah, it should always be at the center line. Okay, now I want to get rid of dimensions. So that is, oh no, I forgot to do chamfer and fillet. I forgot to do fillet. So I'm going to undo the mirror. Let's do fillet first. Okay, so fillet should have a radius of 2.5. Okay, it's not given in the diagram, so please follow my parameter or my dimension. Fillet, type in capital R. Okay, so now it's asking you what is the fillet radius. Type in 2.5. Select the first object. That's your fillet. Then we need to trim this part first, and then use fillet again. Like that. Then let's try to use our mouse to right click so that we can repeat fillet. Okay. And then right click our mouse again so that we can repeat the same command. And then we do a fillet over here. I feel like we're missing another structure here. 1, 2. Yeah, we are. So this is wrong. 60. Is this right or wrong? Here. We have one here, 56. The 56 is 7 from here. Okay, we missed that one. Let me undo this fillet. Extend this line. Okay. Oh, I think this is wrong. Okay. Trim. Okay, so we are missing another structure, which is this guy over here. So this is 56, and it is from the midpoint. 56 divided by 2 is what? 28. 28 going upwards, and then going to the right by 7. Okay. From the center line, why is it not working? Okay, from the center line, my center line is hidden because I don't want it there. Okay. My line is not working. Okay, that is weird. Okay. Okay, from the center line, this is my pretend center line because I want my dimensions to be hidden, and I don't want to do the dimension now. I'm going to do it later. So going up by 28, and then going to the right by 7, and then I'm just going to extend this bit like that. So after we go right to 7, we need to go upwards and complete the structure. I'm just going to extend this like that. Yeah, looks right. Now we trim it. So again, from the midpoint or from the center line, this pretend center line, I'm going upwards by 28. And then I'm going to the right by 7. And then I'm going going upwards, and then just extending that all the way so that I'm maintaining the 90 degrees. Okay, and then now I'm going to trim whatever that is not supposed to be there, like that. And then we can do fillet again, which has a radius of 2.5. Fillet. capital R, fillet, capital R, 2.5, enter, then select the object. And then right click your mouse so to repeat the same command, and then you have your fillet. Trim whatever that is not supposed to be there. Are we missing any more fillets? I don't think so. Now we can mirror this happily. Okay, mirror, select objects. Okay, never mind. Enter, and then use the fake center line as your mirror. Do not erase the source object, so that is a no. And now we can trim. Oops. Get rid of your fake center line, like that. Then maybe we can turn on the dimensions back on. And maybe you can separate the dimension to a different layer. Okay, so that is activity number 3. So that is it for today's class. Do we have any questions from anyone? Not really short, but it is shorter than 3 hours. This is 1 hour and a half. So make sure you have signed in your attendance. I need 3 activities 3 days from now, or preferably you do it today because we are doing it together. Make sure the dimensions are labeled. Make sure your center line is there, and then print it out. One activity should have one PDF. Combine that and upload on Padlet. Oh, sorry, assignment is combined. Activity is not combined. Okay, so any questions before I switch this off?
Professor?
Yes?
For activity 3, right, for the top part, we have 2 lines, but for the bottom part, is it?
Oh, we need to get rid of that, yeah. You trim that out.
And then what is the dimension?
What is the dimension for this part? Okay.
Yeah.
This is 8.
All right. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. And from the top, the center line is at 10. Okay. So I'm gonna just screenshot this so that you guys have a guideline. And then I'm gonna share it on WhatsApp. Okay. So if there are no more questions, everyone's okay?
Doctor,
Yes.
about the assignment,
Mm-hmm.
the name, I'm not sure about the number in the file name format.
Number in the file name. Number of lab. Just ignore
No,
that.
before that.
Before lab. So that is just number lab. So lab number 1, like that, or lab number 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
do we need to submit the drawing file also? Like lab 3 assignment 1, then
No, but you can if you want to. But for the test and the exam, you will need to submit the drawing files.
So just one file of PDF combining all the assignment.
Betul, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no, any more questions? So again, the file name is just lab1 underscore your name. Is it underscore? Let me see. Yeah, lab name underscore your metric ID underscore your name. So the NO or number, just ignore that. That is actually the number in the class order, but just ignore that. Just the lab number. I'm going to edit that out for the upcoming labs. Okay. Any more questions? You don't need to submit your drawing file, only the PDF. Make sure to edit your template to indicate the correct lab and the date before you submit the activity and also the assignment. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I'm going to end class here. The recording will be uploaded on YouTube if you need it. Otherwise, have a good holiday. Well, at least we are already on holiday because I don't have more class with you this week. And Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Maaf Zahir Batin. Bye-bye everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Thank you, Doctor.
Kenapa tu?